Let's talk about what spirituality is and is not. Hey guys, it's John sitting out here on the back deck on a beautiful afternoon. It is sunny. It is probably, I would say, around 60 degrees. And it's just a lovely, lovely afternoon out here. I wanted to hop out here and do a video outside while the outside is still lovely before winter hits us in the near future. So I wanted to talk about the concept of what is spirituality. And spirituality itself is a very interesting animal because, you know, a lot of the churches and religions and the new age gurus all give you the methods and modalities, the techniques and the tools for spirituality. They want to give you the crystals and the ceremonies and they want to show you the cards and they want to do all these things. But when you look at what spirituality really is, in general, spirituality is the non-corporeal. It's the things that aren't physical. And all of the methods and modalities and techniques and ceremonies all depend on the physical and doing things in the physical. But spirituality is about the beingness, the feelingness, the levels of awareness that we can be and express love fully in the now, to be in the present. And in that presence, there's an awareness of love's presence, to understand that love can be here, the love is in the here and now, and that we can be that love and feel that love on a regular basis. That you can get up in the morning and just simply release the stresses and just feel that experience. I'm about to yawn. Excuse me. And just feel that the fact that you can wake up in the morning and just exhale and feel the love in the world and bring that feeling to the physical world means that you can bring the kingdom of heaven to earth. You can bring that spirituality and an awareness of that spirituality in the here and now. To be spiritual does not require to have an object or a reminder or a ceremony or an affirmation. To be spiritual is to be in the feeling of love in the present and to deliver that, to literally bring that feeling of nirvana or heaven here and now and live it fully, to bring the kingdom of heaven to earth. Ask yourself, can you find that peace within you without a prop? Without a ceremony, without a method or a modality, can you simply be the peace? The kingdom of heaven is within you, but it doesn't say you need a ceremony or a prop or a crystal to get it out of you. It's in you. It's there always. It's always for you to grab and hold and live into in the now, in the present. And it's the only moment you can is in the now, because it is the only moment that you're ever conscious. Your past is just a collection of memories, and your future is just a place where you set goals, but you never get to the future. Right here, right now, you are living the I am moment. And what you bring and be in that moment is spirituality. That's what spirituality is itself. The modern world complicates the simplicity of this. They make us think that we have to have a certain thing or do a certain thing or get to a specific level or learn a certain thing to get to that level. It complicates it. Everything is far more simple. In my first regression, I said, it's all so simple, we have a hard time comprehending it. But spirituality on the commercial side has become about gadgets and trinkets and crystals and cards and all these things. But you don't need any of them to find true spirituality. What you need is the awareness of your own divinity, to step into that power in the here and now and live into that expression of self. When you come to that space to realize that spirituality isn't about the gadgets or the next level of ascension or any of those things, and it literally is about being love in the now, being present in the now, and delivering that expression of the divine, which is love, out into the world, then you realize that all of those other things are just clutter. They're just things that keep you on a pathway and it lets you think that spirituality is something separate from yourself that you have to grow or build the hierarchy of. And when you realize that it is always within you, it's always there, the rest all become distractions. You start to realize you don't need any of it. You know, I sleep in on Sundays. Why? Because I don't need church. I don't need church to find God. God is within me. God is within you. And I recognize the God within you. Namaste, my friend. When you return to the present, you realize that in the present I can be love and I don't need those things. And that stillness in the present, it exposes the divine because when we are present, we're in the moment where fear has no root. Fear is always rooted in the past or the future, but it's never rooted in the present. It's afraid of things because of things that have happened to us in the past or something ahead of us might be fearful. But here in the present, it's just a reaction. It's a reaction to two different timelines, the past and the future. Spirituality is being present. It's about coming to the I am moment. I am that I am. Not I was that I was or I will be that I will be, but I am being here in the now. And that connection to that divinity is one breath away. You can exhale and come back to that moment of clarity within yourself where love is always present and spirituality is your nature. When you remove the layers of complexity, the infinite reveals itself. You suddenly start to realize how beautiful and perfect everything is. And as the Buddha said, when you realize how perfect everything is, you'll tilt your head back and laugh at the sky. That's the experience of spirituality, to be in a state of laughter and joy because everything's perfect. The things that are happening in the world are happening because people are fearful. Why are they fearful? Because they're not in spirituality. They're in different timelines. They're focused on past conspiracies. They're looking at future prophecies, but none of them are here in the true spiritual moment of I am. Here in this moment where we live our simplicity, where we live our oneness with God, source consciousness, yada yada. Here in this moment is the place where we find. And there's a myth about higher tools. They create these myths about you need this, you need that, you need this. And the myths are created for one specific reason, to sell them to you. And it comes down to understanding you don't need any of them. And what happens is these tools become addictions. I can't meditate without my crystal. I can't on this trip without this stone in my pocket. I can't go into tomorrow without first reading my astrology charts. I can't. It becomes an addiction, and those addictions start telling you what your life is, and start giving you the experience of somebody else's choice for you. There is nothing set in the future. Fate and destiny are a myth, are the myth. And the tools are dependent upon those myths to keep you in line, to keep in their product lines. And the biggest problem is the more you need these obstacles, these items, these things, I call them obstacles, but the more you need them, the less you feel. And spirituality is a feeling. It's not a thinking, it's not a buying, it's a feeling. The feeling of love. Love is a feeling. And when you live that love in the now, you're being truly spiritual. But what more you're focused on external tools, the less you're feeling it. And that makes love elusive, makes it hard, keeps it at its arm's reach, because that tool is now becoming the obstacle between you and love. The Bhagavad Gita says that thought by thought you forge your destiny. Therefore, to keep your mind on the positive rather than the negative is considered the austerity of the mind. But what's interesting is the tools, astrology, the numerology, all these things, they're telling you what's positive or negative for you. But the Bhagavad Gita says you can keep your mind on the positive. So when you look at these tools of divination, they're really just whoever's reading them or whoever's writing them, it's coming through their own fears and perspectives. They're not really what true spirituality is, because true spirituality is a personal journey. It's your journey within yourself and understanding that you can create exactly as you please. Your free will is your free will, and no astrology chart or numerology chart or rune cast or anything else is ever going to be uh, the the power in the universe unless you give it to them, unless you begin to become addicted to somebody telling you what your world will be instead of creating it as you wish. And that is the key. Create it as you wish. Create it as if you were the king of the world. As my son said, Daddy, God's in everything and everyone, and we control the God part inside of us. That mirrors what the Bhagavad Gita said. Bhagavad Gita talks about the sit and the sit sat ki, the sit, the consciousness of God, and the sit sat ki, the individual sparks of consciousness within God who wield God's power. That in itself is beautiful, right? We are creating in the ever present now, and we can create limitation and lack, and we can create giving our power over to a chart or a card or a person. But that's still us giving our power to them. That's still us giving our power away. And in giving our power away that way, we're losing the perspective of our own spirituality. We choose. We choose in the now what our life is. We choose in the now who we are. I am that I am. I am the result of that I am. So you're creating in every moment of your life, in every experience of your life. When you let go of all the external distractions like uh, astrology, numerology, and cards, and all these things, which I'm not bad mouthing them. If that's your thing, go for it. I'm behind you. My only care is it making your life better or worse? Are you fearful now because Mercury is going to go into retrograde? Or are you choosing to create a beautiful experience? I've never had a Mercury in retrograde experience because I don't believe in it. I don't have those experiences. Second, I put faith in it. I'm going to create it because what we think we become, we create our world. As a man thinketh, so is he. As a man believes, that is so it is done unto him. That's a Bible quote, my friends. That idea that we in this moment are creating through our belief. Well, we only have belief in the conscious moment. The conscious moment is the present one, which is now.
And now, a quick word from our sponsor. Coffee Time with John. This channel runs off coffee, so get your coffee and tea at johnsjoe.com.
And when you strip all those things away, your mind clears. The clutter goes away, and you come to a very simple presence of understanding that you are creating in the now. You are creating in that experience. And in that experience, the direction of your life is your own. You have that ability to create that experience. You have the ability to be and recognize now. And the more present you are, and the more you feel the negative emotions coming from others and understand that's just their fear, and you recognize it as fear. As an observer, you recognize the mad, sad, frustrated, angry are just fears. When we recognize it within ourselves, we change our entire experience because we're eliminating fear. The Buddha said the secret to enlightenment is the eradication of fear. So in staying very present and coming from our feelings, we get to experience something greater. The story of Adam and Eve is they ate from the tree of knowledge. They got kicked out of paradise. Paradise is the feeling. It's the place where spirituality resides. In our heads, we lose that connection because we're now trying to figure out the method, modality, technique, or dogma that gets us to something that's always within us. And that thing that's always within us is creating that experience because we are choosing things. And as we choose those things, so it is done unto us. As a man believes, so it is done unto him. And that's the important part of this is you can believe anything you want. Choice is always yours. If you got up in the morning and you just replaced your rituals with simply being present and choosing to feel good about what you're doing here now, choosing to feel the beauty of the world as opposed to needing to do certain things to get to a certain place of beauty, just waking up and choosing to live a beautiful life, your experience of the world will change dramatically. You'll live into an expression of yourself that you've never experienced before. And that expression of self is you becoming the spiritual self as opposed to the person living through stimulus or through trinkets to get you somewhere. There's nothing in the physical you need because the physical itself is an illusion of belief. And that illusion of belief is stemming from your belief, your present moment belief. Negative people see the negative world because they believe it's negative. I believe in a loving, beautiful world, and I see it every day. I see beautiful things every day, and I look for them, and I'm excited about them because I know the world is becoming more and more beautiful by the minute because there's more of us who want a loving world than there are who want a dreadful or hateful world. There's another issue with this whole construct of methods, modalities, dogmas, or techniques is that our ego tries to put us into a position of power. We try to make ourselves feel powerful so that we can't be harmed. And so we climb ladders of these beliefs. But what always happens is they get to the top of the ladder and they switch. They become something different because the ladder runs out and they got to find a new ladder because they're not worried about the spiritual hierarchy. They're actually worried about the personal hierarchy. And when it runs out and there's nothing more to learn, they're like, "Oh, I better jump to something else quick." I leave you one commandment, love one another. There's nothing in there about needing ritual. There's nothing in that statement about creating more and more trinkets to carry or to put in your clothes. There's nothing in there about burning sage. There's nothing in there about anything in the physical. It's just the being love in the now and delivering love to your fellow man, woman, or child. That's what love one another is. It's the true essence of spirituality, being love in the now. If God is love and you're being love, you're delivering God. That's the most beautiful thing you can possibly do. It's the greatest purpose you can have. But we have to choose that. We have to decide that that is our being, who we are intentionally. And that intention itself is important because it's a choice. We get to choose it. People are often trying to be the one ahead on the path. But let me ask you a simple question. If two people are leaving on a trip to the same destination, and one person leaves 2 hours before the other, is the person who left 2 hours early better than the person who's hasn't left yet? I hope your answer is no, because the answer is no. They're not better. They're just further down the trip. They're further along the road. And in reality, if they truly are further down the road, they have a greater responsibility. Their responsibility is to make sure the people coming up behind don't hit the potholes, don't hit the struggles, to tell them when there's an accident or a road construction, to call back and say, look out for this. But oftentimes those calls back are not about warning others about other things. It's about putting themselves in a position of authority. I know this more than you. And that's not spirituality. That's narcissism. That's actually trying to put yourself in a position of authority over people. And there's not any person on this earth who is better than anyone else or lesser than anyone else. Each one of us is on our own part of the path, and the path is sideways. It hasn't gone forward. It's all on the same path. It's just our experiences of life in the here and now. We think we're going this way, but in reality, we're all just on our own learning path on a line, and that line actually should be going the opposite way, this direction, because we don't actually progress forward. We stay in the now, and the future comes to us depending on what we believe about the now, our creation in the now. When we get into these tools and these things, we choose what we believe. We choose, but then when we talk to others about our beliefs, we tend to speak as if they are the sole and only way, and the only truth. And to be totally honest, there are many ways to God, the universe. The Bible says, "In my Father's house there are many mansions." There's many ways to find love. There's many ways to find that expression of love in your life. And the reality of it is that you can be honest about the fact that yours isn't the only way. And the more honest you are with that, the more you find love in all of the other aspects. The people who are just simply loving, and the people who are so devoted to the methods, modalities, and dogmas and doctrines, they are choosing a certain way. And they can be simply as loving as the other person. Their path could be a direct pathway to God through their own belief. You will know them by their fruit. It doesn't say you will know them by their fruit if their fruit is from Catholicism or Christianity or Buddhism or Islam or any of the other things. It doesn't delineate religion. It says you will know them by their fruit. Their fruit is love, compassion. And when you meet a loving person, no matter what religion they are, I think they found their way to God. And you can be honest with the fact that that's true. If they're loving and caring, they are delivering a true spiritual message. Love. This spirituality of love is interesting because spirituality comes with being honest with yourself. Oftentimes, people who want to be caring and loving will deliver unto the world what others expect to make them get validation for doing what others expect. But if you really want to be surrounded by unconditional love in your life, you have to do the things that you love and be you to your fullest and authentically without expectation of validation. But what will happen is if we put a mask on to please the world and get that validation, we're no longer ourselves. We are the mask of expectation fulfillment. And in that mask of expectation fulfillment, we lose who we really are. But to do what you love and live what you love and be in the now, expressing what you love, is to put yourself out there. And the people who will love you for you will see you and love you, because that's how you find unconditional love, by being 100% authentic with yourself. The people who will love you just as you are will find you, because you're now seen, you're now shine out as a bright light, because that's what they want in their life. That person is just like you. So spirituality means literally being in the present, living in the now, and being your authentic self without fear or anxiety. And then next thing you know, what happens is you find like-minded people and people who will love you for you because they resonate with you. And that's the important part of this, is that everything is possible in the world. And you have the ability in this world to create it more beautifully just by simply choosing to be authentic and choosing to be honest with yourself about what you love. I had someone tell me she wanted to find a soulmate. I said, "Well, what are you doing?" She says, "Well, I'm going to the bars and I'm on the online dating programs." I said, "You like doing those things?" She said, "No, I hate it." I said, "So you're going to bars to meet people who like going to bars, and you're online dating to meet people who like online dating. Who are you going to find there? You're going to find people like those things, and you don't like those things. So you're not going to find." I said, "What do you like to do?" She said, "I like gardening." I said, "Join a gardening club and go out there and garden like you love gardening, and just love gardening. You'll find someone who will love you because of your love of gardening, because you're in alignment with what they believe." And so it really comes down to understanding that spirituality not only is a personal journey, it's a personal expression of your authentic self. To be in the now as a representation of God, loving my life and loving those around me. That's bringing God to earth. That's true spirituality. No crystals or cards are needed. None of those techniques, none of those methods, no masses on Sunday. Be you to your fullest. Be loved to the fullest, and you have found the greatest expression of spirituality. I have found great freedom through spiritual minimalism. I stripped away everything. People ask me what my religion is, and I say I'm love. I don't say I'm Catholic. I don't say I'm Christian. I don't say I'm Buddhist. I don't say, people accuse me of being their religion because they hear me say something and say, "Well, this is what my religion thinks, so you must be this." I have no label like that. The only label I have is that I am John and I am love, and that's my religion. But people want to grab it. They want to label it. They want to define it. They want to lock it in. I think the truest way to be spiritual is to be your authentic self in love. And when you do that, you are literally living the most spiritual life you'll ever live. And what'll also happen is the world will open up to you. You will see all those light shows that you think you're going to get at the end of your linear trail of methods, modalities, and techniques are revealed to you when you let go of the methods, modalities, and techniques and strip them away and become very minimal and just I'm living love, and I recognize fear as the illusion of love's absence. The news projects fear. It puts those illusions of fear out there for us to struggle against. Turn it off. Don't listen to it. "But John, you're going to be uninformed." No, you're not. People are going to tell you all the most important stuff all the time. I haven't watched news in a year, and I haven't missed it. In fact, I gained hours in my day. I got rid of my Facebook page for the same reason, because I don't miss it in any way, shape, or form. Do I miss it? I'm living this amazing life that has no struggle with the conflicts of other people's choices and fears. My life is beautiful, surrounded by love all the time. And, I have my few moments here and there of my own past experiences popping in, but for the most part, I'm living just a beautiful life. And I'm not struggling with what's on the news. I'm not struggling with what the government's doing now, or what that state might do, or what the Pope just said, or I'm not struggling with any of it. I'm literally just living into the moment, into the now. In my videos, I always say I'm speaking my own truth. And that's living transparently. I don't have to remember anything because I'm always speaking my truth. If something comes up that seems contrary, look at it and I'll decide, well, what is my truth around this topic? And I'll adjust accordingly. But for the most part, my life is very simple because I have become a spiritual minimalist, and I'm now in this space of realizing that in this moment now, I can be and do anything, but I just speak my truth because that's the transparency of my life. I am showing you what I believe, not asking you to believe anything I believe. I'm not asking you to, in any way, shape, or form, follow me because I don't think anyone should follow anyone ever. I think we should literally find our own spiritual path. And we find it through experiencing people who are speaking their truth. Some people will speak their truth, but the more you listen to their truth, you'll hear the thing that they're saying you have to get there, the thing they'll say you have to do to get there. They'll start giving you the doctrines and dogmas. You have to eat this diet. You have to do these things. You have to, burn this incense. You have to do these things. Those are all the physical world doctrines and dogmas. There's nothing in the physical world we need. When the disciples asked Yeshua what diet they should follow, his response was, it wasn't what goes in your mouth that defiles you. It's what comes out. Well, what's coming out? What's coming out is our words, our thoughts, our beliefs. The non-corporeal things are coming out. What's going in is the physical world things. We don't need the physical world things. We don't need a diet or all these things to find our way to love because love is there always. And this illusion of belief we're around is just that. It's an illusion of belief. People get very trapped into the stories of the physical, not realizing that it's not really physical. It's all atomic energy in motion. And we have the ability to be the resonance of love in that atomic energy in motion. And that changes the actual atomic energy of motion. It changes the world, changes the universe. My friends, you don't need tools to find God. You are the method by which God is delivered. You are the message, which is the embodiment of God. You are the eyes that God sees the world through, and your eyes are the world you see. You're seeing through God's eyes, as God sees through your eyes. I think that was a Rumi quote or something like that. But when you look at it from the perspective of this moment, you are spiritual. You're living in a spiritual moment, and you can be the simple spirituality. There's no method, modality, or dogma needed. There's only you and your present moment love. And when you do that, you will experience more beauty in this world than you have ever imagined. And that's my thought on this. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.